morning from Matt Burt at the Chang circuit. We're just a few miles from the city of Buriram, ready to bring you the Thai Grand Prix. Just a few more moments and the images will take us to the starting straight for the MotoGP class race. After a long weekend, the race is finally about to start. We're on the starting grid where the engineers are completing their checks before the start. It's a beautiful day, even if temperatures are particularly high. Riders will have to deal with quite a lot of tyre wear. Many have been forced to choose a hard compound on both the front and rear.
The 2023 Thai Grand Prix sees Jorge Martin launch from pole position ahead of Luca Marini and LH Espargaro. Marco Bezzecchi is fourth, with Brad Binder and Franco Morbidelli one row further back. While completing your grid for the Thai Grand Prix is Joan Mir, Miguel Oliveira and Emile.
All the riders are lined up on the starting grid. The countdown begins for the lights to go out. Just a few more moments and the Thai Grand Prix will begin.
It's full throttle, it's lights out, we're racing here in Buriram. It's a brilliant launch from the middle of that front row by Luca Marini. He's going to get the drop on Jorge Martin, then Martin comes around the outside through the first corner. Bagnaia is away well too from 6th place. He goes side by side with Alex Marquez. Bagnaia up into 4th already.
Yeah, much better from Bagnaia, although he's going to be under attack from Binder. He's side by side with Binder and Alex Marquez into turn number 3. It looks suspiciously like a jump start for Maverick Vinales, but we'll have to take a closer look at that. He's just behind that trio, battling for 5th.
Bagnaia toughed it out there in the brakes. He was squeezed in between Binder and Alex Marquez, but he got the better of both of them in that braking zone, the hard braking zone for turn 3. So Bagnaia into 4th place, begins his pursuit of your race leader Martin. Alexis Espargaro's got through on Marini, up into 2nd place on the factory Aprilia. Marquez trying to find a way through on Bezzecchi in the turn 5 for the first time. No way through.
I think if he'd offered Pecco Bagnaia that at the end of the first lap, he would have taken it. He's got himself into the race here, into the battle at the front as Binder is up behind him with Alex Marquez, who is the only rider on the medium rear tyre running 6th.
Going backwards is Bezzecchi. He's had a real tough first lap. He's been picked off by Marquez and Quartararo on this. Certainly that big scare there for Bagnaia. I don't know if he got picked up. I was just looking further back to try and track Marquez and Quartararo. I don't know if that was Binder's aggression that lifted up Pecco Bagnaia, but coming through was the South African, the factory KTM, and Alex Marquez too. So Bagnaia has been pushed back down to P6.
That's where it started. Here comes Binder trying to get at the inside of Luca Marini as Binder now goes on the attack again, having got past Bagnaia. Someone else was up in the back of the picture. It looked like one of the 2 gaess Tech 3 KTMs that had ran wide, but Martin leads it in the first lap. But as we suspected, he's not bolted. He wants to make sure he's got some grip left at the end as Vinales goes way out wide into turn 1.
Was that just a front end scare early on here for Bagnaia, or was he picked up by the hard charging Brad Binder? Here comes Alexis Espargaro trying to find a way through on Martin at the end of the straight. Oh, that was so close. These two are as close as brothers off the circuit. Bagnaia picks up Marquez, retaliates then back into 5th place, now recovering after that skirmish and scare on the opening lap. Alex Marquez coming from a long way back, trying to pinch that inside line through 5 on Binder. No way through.
And Marquez having a look at Bagnaia too. So Bagnaia, who knows he's not exactly out of contention here, although he's running 6th. Of course, this pack is still very much together, but he needs to be careful here. He doesn't drop too far back down the order. As Binder this time does come through on Luca Marini. It took him quite a while to pass him in the sprint yesterday. It's taken him just 2.5 laps this time.
Yeah, that was nicely done, wasn't it, by Brad Binder? That was a aggressive and clean move from the South African then, who finds himself just like he was in the sprint yesterday, inside those top 3 places very early on. We've still got 1 corner and 23 laps to go here in Thailand. Here comes Alex Marquez coming from a long way back as he tries to get through on Luca Marini. How tight were Binder and Marini there in that turn 12, the bottom gear turn 12, to 70 kilometres an hour. Bagnaia still can't get through again, can he, on the Gazini Ducati of Marquez. comes Marquez, who's going to pinch that inside line through 5, and he squeezes Bagnaia out to the paintwork, and now Marquez then comes through up into 6th place. As we mentioned, that's beautiful by Bagnaia, although I think Marquez is going to try and get him on the cutback. They're losing a little bit of precious time here. They try and tough it out. Bagnaia's right leg almost clipped by the left bearing of the Reps Honda. As Binder now through on Aleix Espargaro. This is like a Moto3 battle here, isn't it, early on in Burram. Bagnaia, though, now has been pushed back down to 7th place. He's going from bad to worse for the world champ.
Aleix Espargaro now look the inside of Luca Marini, who tries to turn across the front nose, and that lets Alex Marquez through.
How close was that? Aleix Espargaro almost having contact with Alex Marquez, and he checked up with Marini coming through the final corner. Martin and Binder swap, fastest laps of the Grand Prix. Martin and Binder are starting to clear off.
It's deceptive, it's turn 3 as Alex Marquez now has a look at Bagnaia through on Marquez, who's trying to hang him out around the outside, and he's eased off the track. Bagnaia has to do that. He can't afford to let this group get too far on the road from him.
Yeah, over the line, Bagnaia was 1.4 seconds back of Jorge Martin at one stage in the sprint yesterday. Early clashes with the younger of the Marquez brothers, and Johan Zarco really disrupted his early pace, disrupted his early rhythm, and finally Alex Marquez, well, he's attempted this move at least half a dozen occasions. This time around, coming through turn 7, he finally makes it through.
This is the fight for 5th and 6th, but Martin and Binder are not exactly breaking clear at the front of this field, and Alex Marquez, with that medium rear tyre on, will surely feel he's got to get on with it quickly and try and get in touch with this leading pair before he starts to run into some rear grip issues later on.
On board then with Binder. Martin then it is that will lead at the end of this lap 6. Marini now the quickest man on circle, and now it's his teammate Marco Bezzecchi who's crossed the line 8th place at 1:31.032. Bez on the move. On that last lap he took Quartararo and Raul Fernandez.
Marquez, who made this move yesterday on the final lap of the sprint, and he's done it once again in the race itself. So Marc Marquez now into the top 6. Aleix Espargaro going the wrong way.
Awesome job again by Marc Marquez, benefiting from that 3rd row of the good. He said if you get on those first 3 rows, you can be in the game. If you make the start really aggressive early on, you can go away with the lead group. That's exactly what he is doing right now. Of course, he's probably profiting as well from the relatively slow pace at the front of this Grand Prix. This was Bagnaia, this was him on the inside of Aleix Espargaro through the 3rd gear sweep, 175 kilometers an hour. And Aleix Espargaro at the moment going the wrong way, although he's wrestled back that 6th spot from Marc Marquez.
I thought I saw the yellow and red light panel flashing earlier in the back straight, so maybe Miguel Oliveira had some fluid dropping out of his bike. That forced him to stop.
Aleix Espargaro and Marc Marquez, well, they had a proper battle royale at the end of the sprint yesterday, and they barged into each other coming out of the high-speed turn 4. Neither wants to give a millimetre, let alone an inch, and Aleix Espargaro back on the inside of the 8 times world champion. The problem this is allowing Bagnaia and that lead group to get away here. They've just got to calm down here, get back into their rhythm, because Marquez now has dropped back towards Bezzecchi and Quartararo, but that was so close. Bagnaia, is he going to get this move done on the inside of Marini into turn 3? Marini leans on the world champion, but Bagnaia looks like he has got through.
All the credit to Pecco Bagnaia at this stage of the race, given how the race began, given the trouble he looked to be in when Marc Marquez and of course Alex Marquez were both going through on Bagnaia. He's done very well here.
Oh, Alex Marquez has crashed out of 3rd place, and that's a gift, isn't it, for Bagnaia? Didn't even have to work hard for that final place on the podium as it stands right now. We thought it might be the fading rear grip that was going to hurt Alex Marquez, but it's a front end washout that sees the former Moto2 and Moto3 world champion on the floor here in Mandalika. He tried so hard to save it, but it wasn't coming back through turn 10. On board with Binder, he has done all of the front running so far in this Thai Grand Prix. Bezzecchi does finally find a way through on his teammate Marini, but it was a very short-lived experience, just running that metre hot on a little slightly wide line, and easing back through on the cutback was Luca Marini. So Bez has got to do all the hard work once again, and here he goes, wasting little time. In fact, he waited, 1 corner? At least they're swapping the same paintwork, I guess you could say, as Marini then has the advantage back as they come through turn 5. This is the battle for 4th and 5th. Bezzecchi, as he finally made it through, this is the 3rd time of asking on that lap 18 alone. They come side by side. Bezzecchi does have it.
Martin with everything to lose, Brad Binder with nothing to lose. He's now mathematically out of world title contention, so Brad Binder in the remaining races that we have in 2023 is out there.
Last lap underway, Martin, Bagnaia or Binder, who is going to win this Thai Grand Prix?
How did Bagnaia get such a slingshot out of turns 10 and 11? He almost had to make that move and go around the outside. Our 2 previous Thai Grand Prix here have both been decided at turn number 12. I think we're heading for a 3rd here.
Overtaking hotspot into 3. Binder's not going to be close enough to fire the KTM on the inside of Martin. Martin defending resolutely here at the front of this Thai Grand Prix. He knows this will be a massive, massive victory for him. He now gets the power down, streaks away from Binder as they tack now towards the 4th gear, turn 4. It looks like Bagnaia is running out of time here in 3rd place.
Binder's best opportunity, based on what we've seen so far, will be into turn number 8. This is turn number 5. We've got a couple more left-handers before they turn it right through 7. Binder has attacked twice already into 8. This might be his best opportunity, or does he dare leave it for turn number 12?
And what about Bagnaia? Has he got something up his sleeve? Is there an ace up his sleeve in that final sector? Yet again, he squeezes that front brake as hard as he dares. He tries to hunt down Martin and Binder. It's all on the line then now in this final sector in Bahrain. They'll flick it hard left through turn 10. Who is going to win this epic, thrilling last lap showdown here? It looks like it's going to be Martin, but here comes Binder. Martin goes super defensive. How tight is Jorge Martin going to go in this final corner? Will Binder get him on the cutback? What about Pecco Bagnaia? Martin completes the dream treble in Thailand. Pole, sprint win.
It was a perfect race today. In addition to the victory, this young man scored points which are very important for the world ranking. Despite the fact that there is no other rider on the grid who has won as much as him, this guy's thirst for victory never seems to subside. Marquez remains on the top step of the podium. Great race, Marc. This long race weekend also comes to a close with the end of the MotoGP race. All we can do is to see the race ranking together. See you in a moment for the podium ceremony.